Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Algarve circuit in Portimao, where we've got the 7th race of the season in the FIA GT3 European Championship coming up for you this afternoon. My name is Jack Nichols. I'm here in the commentary box overlooking the start-finish straight. We've got Hayley Coxon down in the pit lane, ready to find out, well, she's on the grid at the moment, in fact, ready to find out any juicy bits of information that come her way. We've got an hour-long race coming up for you in mid-20s heat. It's not been a particularly hot day. Track temperature's fairly warm, as you can see, 37.4 degrees centigrade, but it hasn't been the kind of scorcher that we've had here in the south of Portugal over the past few days. Nevertheless, it's been very pleasant, and it makes a change for these GT3 drivers to not be racing in the rain, because we've had some wet conditions earlier on this season. Here's how the championship lies coming into this race then. Dominic Baumann and Maximilian Buch, they are on the top of the championship, and they're also on pole position for this race. Gaetano Ardagna Perez and Giuseppe Chiro second in the championship. Stefano Guy and Michael Lyons in third. So second and third for AF Corsa. David Mengsdorf and Harry Procek in fourth. Max Nilsson and Mika Vähämäki, the teammates of the championship leaders, are in fifth place, with Nii Amorim and Cesar Campanico, the Portuguese squad of Team Nova driver, in sixth place. So that second and third place in the Drivers' Championship means that AF Corsa are currently topping the Teams' Championship, 188 points, some 15 or so points clear of Heiko Gravity Charoux's team, with 116 points, I should say, of Heiko Gravity Charoux's, who are in second place. But qualifying took place this morning, and it really was very much a story of Heiko Gravity Charoux's. Here's the grid then. Mercedes lockout on the front row. Buch and Nielsen will be starting the race. Mengsdorf and Michael Lyons are on the second row of the grid. Lamborghini and Ferrari side by side. And we've got the first of the Audis in the hands of Nii Amorim. Gaetano Ardagna Perez in sixth place. Mark Sword and Eduard Leganov for Václav Maiv and Miguel Toril are on the next row of the grid for Russian Bay Motorsports Ferraris, and Natalia Fredina will start her Lamborghini Gallardo in 11th position. So there's the two Mercedes side by side. Then we've got the AF Corsa car of Michael Lyons. I think it's Gaetano Ardagna Perez who's just a little bit out of position. He needs to pull up alongside Nii Amorim. He has done now. So the leading car pulls into the pits, and this race will get underway in just a few moments' time. Remember, all the cars have to crest the hill, and then the lights will be out. The 7th race of the season will be underway. Still waiting for the lights, and now they stamp on the throttle. Immediately going defensive is Maximilian Buch, because he hasn't got a great start. The Lamborghini tries to come through the middle of them then, so it's a great start from David Mengsdorf. He might be able to hang on into the lead. It's going to be second at least. He's going to try and go around the outside at turn one. That doesn't work out. He runs wide. One of the Ferraris is up into third position. I think that's Michael Lyons making a good start, so a real loss for Max Nilsson then. He's the man who was lost out most, and now he's spun and facing backwards at turn 4. So Max Nilsson makes a poor start, then gets involved in an incident at turn 4, and that is a real shame for him, and effectively that's his race challenge for the lead over. Side by side, Mengsdorf trying to hold on to that second position. Round the outside, onto the grass goes Michael Lyons. He gets back onto the circuit, down in third place, but Maximilian Buch has just seen his only real rival for this race potentially spinning at turn 4. We'll have to wait and see what kind of pace the Lamborghini has. So then we've got Gaetano Ardagna Perez has jumped Nii Amorim at the start as well, as the Lamborghini and the Ferrari swing through turn 10 up into the little kink at turn 11, and then under braking for the slightly tighter turn 12. You see the differing lines that they're taking through there. It's a good start from one of the Russian Bear cars. I think that is Miguel Toril who has made the best start. It is. That's Václav Maiv then further back. Miguel Toril, who was, of course, demoted 3 grid places, as I said. His teammate, in fact, Sergei Rabov, was given a €700 fine for speeding in the pit lane. So I've been able to see the race stewards a couple of times already of Miguel Toril and Sergei Rabov, but they made a good start. But no one's made a better start than Maximilian Buch, as he exits the final corner, turn 16, comes across the line. He leads then, and he's got a 2.3 second gap over David Mengsdorf behind him. Michael Lyons in third place, and he's looking racy as they drop down the hill. You can see that smoke again coming from the back of the Lamborghini, where it seems the tyre is rubbing on the inside of the bodywork. We saw that during the qualifying session. Rhino's Lippert guys assuring us that there's Nothing particularly wrong with the car. It's just a little bit of rubbing going on. This Lyons really starting to push that ahead, of course, of Ferrari hard. Nee Amorim also is going to try and get past Perez before too long. This is the battle for second position, down into the hairpin. Car 50 is under investigation. That is Ardagna Perez. So I haven't spotted anything, I don't think, at the start, but obviously the stewards are a little more eagle-eyed than I am. Here's a replay of the Mercedes spinning. Okay, so that's why Perez is under investigation, of course. So it was Ardagna Perez who nerfed around Max Nielsen, in the number 2 Mercedes. So that'll be why he's under investigation. And here is Nielsen tucked right under the rear of the Lamborghini. Thought he was going to have a little look into turn 14. We saw that move happen a couple of times in the GT1 race, but I think that Nielsen is going to decide that he's so much quicker than the Lamborghini in front. He's just going to wait until the perfect opportunity, which I imagine will be on the exit of turn 16, to take a wider line in, try and take more momentum through the corner and get a better run out. It's not quite worked out for him. He might be able to have a little look alongside if he can try and get a bit of a slipstream. Here he comes then, looking to the inside, Max Nielsen. Can he get past Leganov? Yes, he can, before they even get to the braking zone. So Nielsen on a bit of a charge. He's now up into 8th position. Out they come off turn 15. On the brakes a lot earlier, but that should allow Nielsen to perhaps carry more momentum through the corner. And look at that, he's driven straight past on the exit of the corner. Such is his superiority through turn 16. This is also going to allow a bit of a battle to develop, perhaps between Leganov and Mark Sword. There you can see Max Nielsen up into 7th position. And what are we going? This is the move then for second place. Oh, Michael Lyons getting a great run out of turn 3, late on the brakes into turn 4, and it's job done. So that is how Michael Lyons took second position, and he's now started to pull away a little bit. There's Stefano Guy, Michael Lyons' teammate, thumbs up, because his teammates up into second place, which is good news for the championship. It's not good news that the championship leaders are ahead of them, but nevertheless they still need to keep scoring points. There's a few nice battles we've got going on. There you can see Max Nielsen coming over the line. Oh, that was a half-hearted maneuver there from Nee Amorim, and that's going to compromise his run out, and is going to allow Miguel Toril to send one up the inside into turn 4. Have you seen him? Yes, he has. Amorim will still have the inside line for 5. They're going to try and go side by side through there. It's not going to work out for them. That was good opportunistic driving from Toril. He saw that half-hearted maneuver from Nee Amorim and thought, this could be my chance, one of my only chances to get past, and he sent one very late in the day into the hairpin. He was struggling to get that one stopped, wasn't he? So Miguel Toril feeling very racy. This is all played into the hands of Ardagna Perez, who's disappeared off the road, and Max Nielsen, who has now been brought into the battle as well. So this is all a squabble ultimately over 4th place, but now it's become a two-way fight over 5th position, really. So where is this first move going to come? It's a bit like it's almost like chess, isn't it, at the moment? Which one of these 4 cars, well, 3 really, because Ardagna Perez has got nowhere to attack. Which one is going to make the move first? And crucially, how long is Ardagna Perez going to stay out there? Because Nee Amorim now is having to start to attack because he's coming under so much pressure from behind. So Nee Amorim starting to try and get past now. Up the hill they come, into the left-hander at 14. None of them are close enough. You can see at the back of the pack, though, the Mercedes of Max Nielsen just taking a nice wide line into every single corner, because he's got nothing to worry about defending. So I wonder, he's going to get an absolutely mega drive coming out of this final corner, and he could be attacking a couple of them. Will Perez pit this time around? I think if he it's 3 times past the board, isn't it? So, and into the pits comes Perez. So now it's just going to be a 3-way fight for 4th position. Nielsen's got a great run out of the final corner. He looks to the inside, but he better watch out, because Miguel Toril is going to look to one side of Campanico. Nee Amorim in the Audi is going to lose 2 positions here in one fell swoop if he's not careful, because the Mercedes is passed, and up the inside goes the Ferrari. So Nee Amorim unfortunately for him, moved up into 4th place as they crossed the line, but now finds himself in 6th position. He was robbed really there, mugged either side, and there you can see exiting the pit lane Ardagna Perez. Now, is he going to get out in 7th place ahead of Mark Sword? It looks like he is to me. Mika Vähämäki ready to take over from the number 2 car of Max Nielsen. So actually we haven't spoken much about Max Nielsen since he got past Miguel Toro, Niamarim and all that crew, but he's actually the quickest man out there, 47.9, and he's lapping, which is half a second quicker than his teammate who's leading the race, and he doesn't have any pit stop penalties to do. So that's certainly one to keep an eye on, that Heiko Gravity Charouz car. Pit stop window is open. Are they going to bring Buch in straight away? No, they're not. They're going to leave him out. I imagine they'll just swap the drivers around at the exact halfway mark of 30 minutes because it's so similarly matched and no real battles for them to deal with. Into the pits though comes David Mengsdorf from 3rd position. Harry Prochet getting ready to take over, so Michael Lyons is now in a comfortable 2nd position, but this is the time where he needs to put in some decent laps. Then across the line is Max Nielsen. That last lap he was 1.3 seconds quicker than Michael Lyons and was 7 seconds behind, so there's still a definite chance that Max Nielsen and Mika Vähämäki could end up on the podium here. But out of the pits then comes Harry Prochet now in that number 11 Lamborghini. He's in with a shout of taking the lead of this race, but he's 20 seconds behind. He's only got 10, so I don't think he is actually, come to think of it, because he too has had to take a pit stop window penalty. Here comes Michael Lyons. Is he going to pit this lap and hand over to Stefano Guy? Yes, he is. So this will give us an idea of how the battle for 2nd is going to end up. And out goes the Ferrari of Lyons and Guy then. Where are we going to see the number 11 car? There's our number 1 car of Buch and Baumann. They have yet to make their pit stop, but it's really where will Stefano Guy in the Ferrari come out with regards to the Lamborghini. Well, there's the Lamborghini coming out of the final corner, so as we thought, no pit stop penalty for Lyons and Guy means they come out comfortably, even more comfortably than I was expecting, ahead of the Lamborghini. And then we've got the number 2 car of Max Nielsen. He's going to pit now and hand over to Mika Vähämäki. Nielsen and Vähämäki very much in a fight for 2nd position. Because they didn't have to take any pit stop penalty and they've been lapping quickly, there's a real chance these guys could come in and around the Ferrari and the Lamborghini that were battling over 2nd place. Whether they will or not, we'll have to wait and see. There is Stefano Guy. The engine fires up, and this could be quite interesting. Out of the final corner. Oh, has he stalled it? He just about gets it going, Mika Vähämäki, bumping his way down the pit lane. Across the line then comes Stefano Guy. This is going to be very close indeed in the battle for 2nd place. The Ferrari is going to get it just about. I don't think that mistake, that stall from Vähämäki, has cost him too much. It certainly didn't cost him the position, but that is now 2nd and 3rd place. And that means that 4th place now will be this man, Harry Prochet, once all the pit stops have filtered out. That's going to be interesting to watch Mika Vähämäki try and close in on Stefano Guy in the AF Corsa Ferrari. So this is our race leader coming into the pits. Maximilian Buch is going to hand over to Dominic Baumann. And it's difficult to quite tell where this is going to bring them out. It should, I think, be in the lead of the race. I think they've had enough pace and built up enough of a gap. Because the pit stops are so long, if the car behind you pits, they go over a lap behind. So on the timing screens, all you can see is +1 lap. So there's no genuine figure of time to be able to guesstimate whether they're going to come out in front or not. So I'd have thought they're going to have enough. There's Stefano Guy then in 2nd place. Is that only... That's the Mercedes right with him, but that's only at turns 8 and 9. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. Here comes Guy then, and it's not going to be long before Guy is under a lot of pressure from Mika Vähämäki. Still waiting. Dominic Baumann, the Austrian driver, is waiting for the signal. Revs begin to rise, and away he goes down towards the exit of the pit lane. I think Stefano Guy is coming around the final corner now. He's not quite at the final corner, so the Mercedes should hold on to the lead. Dominic Baumann, does he retake the lead and the exit of the pit lane? Yes, he does, comfortably, to be fair. So Dominic Baumann resumes the lead of the race, but the battle for second is on. Surely Stefano Guy cannot, even he, with his mastery of defending, cannot keep this Mercedes behind. He needs to go straight to the inside line. He's already on his way. Or is he? No, he's confident enough to stick to the racing line down into turn one. Now he'll slowly start to move across. He needs to move across quicker than that, because give Vähämäki half a car width and he's going to take it. Miho Vähämäki moves up into second place. Nothing Stefano Guy can do about it. Michael Lyons, thumbs up, but I don't think that's a genuine thumbs up, frankly. His teammate is now down into third position. He moved across as if to defend, got to the middle of the track, and then kind of didn't defend anymore. I mean, I think Vähämäki, a young racer like him, he gets half the chance, as I say. He smells half an opportunity of getting up the inside. He is going to go for it. Impressive work from Vähämäki. You have to say that, because and his teammate Max Nielsen, because don't forget they got a poor start and then was spun around at turn 4 and dropped to the back of the field. So to climb back up into second place, only 8 seconds behind the leader, suggests that we would have had a bit of a battle royale if he hadn't been spun around. But here's Giuseppe Ciro. He's closing in on Kirill Ladygin. So we've got a few decent battles developing throughout the field. Here Kirill Ladygin is in 8th place, Giuseppe Ciro is in 9th place. He knows that every point is going to be absolutely vital for the championship battle. And as a result, if he can close in and get past Ladygin, he is absolutely going to do it. Albert von Taxis has not been left by the Audi in front. There's Natalia Fradina. Fairly happy by the looks of things as Albert continues to lap. We've got 3 good battles going on with 14 minutes of this race to go. Gregory Gilbert, very, very experienced, very, very quick driver, going out nice and wide on the exit of turn 5. Car 24 is now receiving a warning. That's Albert von Taxis, who you see there. But Gregory Gilbert in that Audi, oh, he's outbroken himself as Ryabov. That gives Gilbert an opportunity. He'll have the inside line for this little kink, but Ryabov should be able to hold it around the outside and then have the inside line for 8 and 9. He can't quite do it, and Gregory Gilbert moves up into 6th position in the Audi as they head down into turn 1. Where's Procek going to make his move? I don't think he's quite got the advantage coming out of that final corner. I think it's the middle sector, and there he's gone through, has he? The Ferrari goes very wide indeed, and that was very, very easy in the end for Harry Procek. Didn't see what happened to Stefano Guy, but I just wonder if he went a little bit wide there, and now he's got a little bit frustrated with himself, sliding the rear of the car out. Is he going to go for a lunge down into the hairpin? I don't think he's close enough. No, he is not. But Harry Procek then up into 3rd place. Didn't really see what happened to Stefano Guy, I don't think. Here we go. Let's keep an eye on the Ferrari on the left. Bit out of shape on the exit, maybe. Couldn't quite see it. That must be what happened. He must have tried to take too much speed through turn 1. Back end steps out. He has to run wide. Yeah, there you can see. He's run out wide already. He's nowhere near the apex of turn 3. Is Stefano Guy, and that is where the Lamborghini just glides up the inside. And really, for Harry Procek in the end, that was very, very straightforward, and he's now up into 3rd place. Stefano Guy in 4th. And 5th place is still Cesar Campanico. There is Cesar Campanico then. The gap was 5.2 seconds at the end of the last lap between him and Stefano Guy in front. If it's come down more dramatically, it might just work out. There you can see it was 3.3 seconds on lap 27. So across the line comes Guy. Campanico comes across the line. It's now 3.5 seconds. This might just about be on, you know, because that was another 1.8 seconds that came out of the gap on that last time around. So Cesar Campanico possibly looking at a bit of a grandstand finish here as he throws it into turn 4. Final lap begins now then. Dominic Baumann across the line, but this is the battle to watch because it's over 4th position and it is involving our 3rd placeman in the championship, Michael Lyons and Stefano Guy, and Guy really struggling with the tyres and with the grip out there. He's just going to slingshot out of this corner, Campanico. He's taken less speed into the apex and as a result has absolutely flown out. Straight to the inside line goes Stefano Guy. He's learned his lesson. He's not going to leave enough room up the inside, surely, for Cesar Campanico to come through. No, he's not. This is where he made the mistake last time around, running out wide. He's managed to keep it all together this time. Already, though, into the final corner comes Dominic Baumann. He is going to take the win for he and Maximilian Buch. It's going to extend their lead at the top of the championship by some 21 points. Fantastic work for them. They're going to be on pole position for tomorrow's race as well. Can anyone stop them tomorrow? Perhaps a little bit of luck that Max Nielsen got spun around in their number 2 teammate car on the very opening lap, because I think it would have been a lot closer if that hadn't happened. But Mika Vähämäki did a decent job. Here we go, side by side for 4th place, coming into the final sequence of corners, and I don't think Cesar Campanico is going to be able to do it unless he can get an absolutely epic run out of the very final corner and pull alongside down the start-finish straight. That's going to be his only hope. Wide line into the left-hander. Power on through, and the Ferrari's going to hold it, I think. Across the line they come. It's going to be a bit of a drag race, but the checkered flag is out, and the checkered flag falls just for Stefano Guy. In the mix of all that, Harry Procek finished in 3rd place, 4th place then for Guy, 5th place for Cesar Campanico, but he gave us some quality entertainment on the last couple of laps. It's been a fantastic performance so far this season from Procek and Mengelsdorf. They've been on the podium in every single race. And that's even more impressive when you think that subsequently, after being on the podium, they have to take a pit lane penalty in every single race, but they've still managed to come out pretty strongly. Mercedes-Benz 1 and 2, Maximilian Buch and Dominic Baumann winning, Max Nielsen and Mika Vähämäki in 3rd, with a Lamborghini Gallardo in 3rd place for Rhinos, Leiper, Motorsport, Mengelsdorf and Procek. Michael Lyons and Stefano Guy finished the race in 4th position, just about ahead of Nii Amorim and Cesar Campanico. Look at that, just 0.3 of a second between 4th and 5th as they cross the line. Mark Sword and Gregory Gilbert in 6th place, Ardanga Perez, Giuseppe Chiro in 7th place. That's not good news for their championship challenge at all, but we're hoping to get things back on track tomorrow. Toril and Ryabov in 8th, Mailiv and Kirill Ladygin in 9th. Leganov and Brushin round out their debut with a 10th place, with Natalia Prodina and Albert von Ternen Taxis in 11th position. Another example of almost but not quite for Nielsen and Vähämäki. As I say, coming into this weekend, they were 5th in the championship. Had one win last time out at Navarra, but that was their only podium. So they've had the pace all year, but they just haven't quite been able to turn it into results. Vähämäki seemed satisfied with that. Not quite as happy, of course, as Dominic Baumann. Big hugs for the Austrian driver. And those two have been very impressive. They continue to climb up the championship standings despite missing the opening round in Nogaro. It's been a very impressive performance from them in the Lamborghini. But the race winners, Maximilian Buch and Dominic Baumann, are down there with Haley Coxon. Let's hear what they've got to say after their 3rd win of the season.
Congratulations, 3 wins now this season so far for you, Dominic.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, 3rd win. Really great job from the team, from Maxi, from everyone. The car was again perfect. As I said before, it's one of my favorite tracks, and we did the best we can do. So that's the win.
What a performance, 15 seconds extra in the pits, and you still take the win.
Yeah, thank you. We worked out the perfect setup for the race. I think it worked out in the race, and yeah, I'm quite happy to be on the podium, to be on top. And yeah, today we can make a party.
Thank you, Max.
We'll have to find out where that party is, won't we, Haley? So Buch and Baumann taking the victory. 3rd win of the season, top of the championship. It's all looking pretty good for them at the moment, isn't it? So let's have a look how that affects the championship. You can see that Baumann and Buch have now made a bit of a leap clear. Guy and Lyons move up into 2nd place. Ardanga, Perez and Chiro still hold on to third, but are dropping further and further behind, now 26 points behind the championship leaders. Max Nielsen and Mika Vähämäki in fourth. Despite all these podium finishes, Mengsdorf and Harry Procik can't quite begin to close in on those guys in front of them. They're only 1 point behind Nielsen and Vähämäki, which isn't too bad from their perspective, I imagine. For the third time, winning trophies for Dominik Baumann and Maximilian Buch on the top step of the podium. They all pose on the top step for their photos. The Gravity Charoux team member determined to be right in the centre of the action. Baumann and Buch then first, Vähämäki and Nielsen second, Procik and Mengsdorf in third place. It's a very impressive performance from Vähämäki and his teammate Max Nielsen, but no one can beat Dominik Baumann and Maximilian Buch at the moment. They are on the top step of the podium for the third time, and they are now comfortably in the lead of the FIA GT3 European Championship. Good morning and welcome to the latest instalment of the 2012 FIA GT3 European Championship. It's the 8th race of the season we've got coming up for you today. An hour-long race around this incredible Portimao circuit. 20 degrees the temperature here, which is pretty warm considering it's only 9:30 in the morning. A little bit of a breeze as well up here on the hill. Track temperature 18.3 degrees. Not very often you see the track temperature lower than the air temperature, but that is what we've got at the moment as the sun begins to come out here on another glorious day. Here's the grid. Baumann and Vähämäki on the front row. Harry Procik and Gregory Gilbert make up the second row of the grid. Then it's the all-Ferrari row 3. Giuseppe Chiro and Stefano Guy will be starting their 458 Italians. Then Albert von Turnhen-Taxis and Kirill Ladygin next up. 9th and 10th, Cesar Campanico. Expect movement from him and Ricardo Brushin with Sergei Ryabov there in that number 4 Russian Bears Motorsports Ferrari 458. They're going to be bringing up the rear of the field. Once all the cars have crested this rise, they will all be able to see the lights. Then they will go out and we will have this 1 hour race, the 8th race of the 2012 season, getting underway. It's Mercedes on the front row, Baumann on pole, Vähämäki on second, but watch out for the Audi and the Lamborghini behind. We wait for the lights to go out here at the Algarve. There we go green, and it's a great start from the Lamborghini, and it's a fantastic move from Harry Procik, almost moving into the lead as they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. It's been a poor start for Mika Vähämäki. Who's going to have the lead? It's going to be the Lamborghini. Harry Procik takes the lead. Second place is Dominik Baumann. Third then still is Gregory Gilbert, but Mika Vähämäki going from second down to fourth at the start. It looks like one of the Kirill Ladygin's got a brilliant start in the Russian Bears Ferrari. He's now up into fourth position. It's side by side between the AF Corsa Ferraris as they come through turn 5. Now down into the hairpin at turn 6. Albert von Turnhen-Taxis has had a bit of a slow start, but he's looking towards the inside line. But under braking they come at turn 6 for the first time, and there is Albert trying to make a move. Giuseppe Chiro is still ahead of Stefano Guy. So no change there between the two AF Corsa Ferraris, even though they've been doing a reasonable amount of battling. And there's Albert von Turnhen-Taxis going around the outside of Cesar Campanico, who's made a decent start, not quite as decent as he would have wanted, I don't think. He hasn't made up a great deal of positions. He's in 9th place, and that's exactly where he started. So a little bit of a swap from Brushin and Ryabov at the back of the field, but apart from that, no major changes in the mid to rear pack. But look at that, Harry Procik is gone. He has absolutely put the hammer down and is starting to pull away from Dominik Baumann in the Mercedes. That's a late look up the inside, and that's the Audi trying to get back past the Lamborghini. Albert von Turnhen-Taxis in the Lamborghini on the inside. On the outside is Cesar Campanico in the Audi. He's going to try and drive it around the outside. That'll be impressive stuff, and he's managed to do it, but now he's still going to be on the outside for the final corner at turn 16. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside at 16. Fantastic stuff from Cesar Campanico, and he moves up to take that position. No, he doesn't. They're still side by side. They've been side by side for 2 corners now as they come down the start-finish straight. Are either of them going to have a particular straight-line speed advantage? No, they're not. Von Turnhen-Taxis again hanging it in on the inside. Campanico later on the brakes gets the move done eventually. And, well, that was some fantastic driving from Campanico to keep it around the outside at probably the two least likely corners on the circuit, and he now manages to move up into 8th position. The Ferrari in front is the AF Corsa run car with Stefano Guy at the wheel, and he's starting to drop back from his teammate Giuseppe Ciro now, isn't he? Noticeably, Stefano Guy. So that's clearly going to be frustrating Campanico. He'll want to get past as soon as he possibly can. Late on the brakes, and he's gone for a late move into 14. Is he going to make that move stick? Yes, he is, but he's going to be on the outside line for 15. But Stefano Guy sticks 2 wheels on the grass. We've seen Campanico go the long way around. He's boxed out of it there, though, by Stefano Guy. So that was I don't think Campanico was planning on making that move, but I think Guy got on the brakes so early that he almost had no choice but to have a go at the inside. Out onto the start-finish straight they come to complete the 3rd lap of the race. This is allowing Albert von Turnen Taxis back into the fray in the Lamborghini as they flash past, heading down to the first corner, getting up to 260 kilometers an hour before getting on the brakes. And Cesar Campanico has just dropped back a little bit, but yeah, I don't think he intended to make that move because he was tucked right up behind the Ferrari until they were probably halfway through the braking zone, and then decided, hang on, I might have a little chance of getting past it. The gap for the lead came down by 0.4 of a second on that last lap, so it's now just half a second. There you could see them coming through shot. Gregory Gilbert has now dropped back from Dominic Baumann, and he himself is going to be coming under pressure, I think, from Mika Vähämäki before too long. So here's our race leader, Harry Procek, the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3 of Dominic Baumann, 2nd place, as you can see, fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 46.447 for the Heiko Gravity Charouz team. And Harry Procek will have to get pretty defensive before too long, because Mercedes is quicker, and the longer that he can keep it behind, the better chance he is going to have of getting past at the pit stops. Campanico, where is his move going to come? He doesn't have, as I've said before, that straight line speed advantage in the Audi R8. So it's going to have to be through the tight, twisty bits that he tries to make his move. Little tentative look going into 12, but nowhere near close enough. He's got a good drive off 12 through 13. I do think this is his best opportunity to try and force one up the inside, but equally they need to be look at that, Guy's going wide every time, so wide, and he's lost the position. He's just gifted that to Cesar Campanico. Too much speed into the apex, nowhere near the apex at the same time, and then running out very wide, and Campanico just drove past, because as soon as Guy got a couple of wheels on the gravel, he was never going to get the traction out of the corner that the Audi was, and now he needs to be careful because Albert von Turnen Taxis is attacking. We've also got attacks going on for the lead. Dominic Baumann forcing Harry Procek to go defensive. That could give him the opportunity going down into turn 4. Procek knows it, covers it. Baumann tries to stick one around the outside, out of turn 4, into turn 5. Not close enough. That was a cunning little maneuver, though, from Baumann, but it could put him under pressure from Gregory Gilbert, because it'll compromise his exit speed. Down towards turn 6, Gilbert looks to the outside in the Audi, but he's not close enough, so we've now definitely got a 4-way battle for the lead going on here. Lamborghini Mercedes, Audi Mercedes, Procek, Baumann, Gilbert, Vähämäki. Here's the battle for the lead. Again, we'll probably see the Mercedes close right into turn 15. Now he's got a little bit out of shape on the entry, but he needs to focus on the exit more than anything. That's a better run out of the final, out of the penultimate corner. Now into 16. This is possibly the closest Baumann's been for a couple of laps now. I don't think it's quite going to be close enough, but we're certainly looking at a gap of only a tenth or two as they come across the line. Oh, it is up to 3 now. Having a little feint towards the inside, but nowhere near close enough. It looks like it goes downhill and then levels out from the camera angle, but it actually, the first corner braking zone goes downhill and then actually turns back to being uphill. So the first period of braking is difficult because you're braking downhill, but then all of a sudden you're getting uphill braking as well. So it's a real challenge. Another challenge is going to be for Harry Procek, trying to keep the Mercedes behind, because Baumann got a very, very good run through turn 5. He's looking up the inside into the hairpin, and Dominic Baumann takes the lead of the race. Fantastic exit of 5 he got, and Procek needs to be careful now because Gregory Gilbert is right up behind him. Now what can Project do? He needs to fight back immediately if he wants to retake the lead, because I think ultimately Dominic Baumann has more pace in that car. Don't forget though, the race-leading Mercedes will now have to stop for 10 seconds longer than the second-place Lamborghini. The pit lane window is now open through turn 16. Are any of these guys going to pit? No, they're not. So out to the start-finish straight they come once more. Look at the lead then that Dominic Baumann has built, 5.5 seconds. So that has negated the gap back to his teammate, but he really needs to have 10 seconds on the Lamborghini to come out in front of him after the pit stop, and he really needs 15 or more to come out in front of the Audi after Mark Sword takes over. So it's going to be a very, very interesting pit stop window, which will be open for 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes time we should get a proper idea of exactly how this race is panning out. So Vähämäki pits, and he's going to hand over to Max Nielsen and give him some time in free air to try and leapfrog these two drivers that we're still seeing, Prochek and Gilbert. Don't forget, these guys still more than in contention for the race win. As Max Nielsen gets strapped in, and we'll send the car back out. Well, Gilbert's dropped back, hasn't he? Considerably, actually, considering where he has been over the past few laps. He lost 0.2 of a second to the Lamborghini in front on that previous lap, and I'd say he's lost a bit more than that this time around. So out of the pits comes Max Nielsen after serving his 10-second pit lane handicap. And out of the pits he comes then down the start-finish straight. There's no one really to reference him, unless that's Michael Lyons. So that's Michael Lyons. So that's worked out fairly well for AF Corsa. This could bring Michael Lyons into the fight, you know, because he's got pretty hot tyres and he's made his pit stop and he's really nailed the outlappers Lyons. So, and because he didn't have to take the pit lane penalty, look how quick he's going, look how wide he's going as well. But he knows that he's got nice up to temperature tyres. The Mercedes will have lost some tyre pressure whilst waiting in the pit stops, and Lyons sends it up the inside and goes past Max Nielsen down into the hairpin. So all of a sudden AF Corsa, from running kind of 5th and 6th with Stefano Guy and Michael Lyons, have really brought themselves into race contention here. Into the pits then comes Dominic Baumann, race leader, into the pits. Maximilian Buch is there waiting. Has he built up enough of a lead to get out in front of these two? Into the pit lane they both come. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Cesar Campanico as well, very, very late on the brakes going into the pit lane. And if you look at that second Audi, he is right up with the other two as they come into the pits. So Cesar Campanico may not be out of this one just yet when he hands over to Nii Amarim. So here's the look at the two Audis coming through on the right-hand side. They're absolutely together. So that's worked out fantastically for Campanico. He's kind of snuck up on this battle a little bit. So the driver changes get underway. There is Michael Lyons. Does he have a chance of taking the lead of this race? He certainly has a chance, but is it going to come out for him or not? There's Max Nielsen. He's not going to be taking the lead of this race because he's been overtaken by Michael Lyons. Checking a few things, and out go the Lamborghini and the Audi and the third Audi as well, all coming out together. So they've all got past the number 1 car of Maximilian Buch. So frustrating for the driver, and out of the pits they come, and I think incredibly it might be Nii Amarim who's going to lead this race, because this is Michael Lyons. No, that's Giuseppe Ciro coming down the start-finish straight, and he's going to get involved as well, getting a little bit sideways. So Nii Amarim, I think, has come out in the lead of this race. It's quite difficult to figure out exactly what's happened there, but Nii Amarim in the Team Nova driver Portuguese car has taken the lead. I think there might have been a problem there, you know. That was longer, surely, than the 15 seconds. So we'll try and find out exactly what happened down there, because it should only have been a 15-second extra time on that pit stop, but it seemed a lot longer than that. So into the first corner they come. But what happened to Dominic Baumann and Maximilian Buch? They were leading this race. They were had a longer pit stop, a 15-second time penalty, but it seems to be a lot longer than that. Hayley Coxon's down in the pits. Hayley, what news can you bring?
Yeah, I've just spoken to a representative from the team, and they have informed me they do have battery issues on the Mercedes. They're not quite sure what the issues are, but there is a problem with the battery.
Okay, so that'll explain why couldn't get the car started in time. Dominic Baumann looking pretty disappointed, so let's give you a shakedown of how it is. Race leader, the 14 Audi, very disappointed. Dominic Baumann, he can't believe it. He's worked his socks off to get into the lead of this race and try and pull out a gap, and it hasn't worked out for him and the team. Race leader is the 14 Team Nova driver Audi of Nii Amorim. You can just see him cresting the hill. Then this is the battle over second and third place. Gaetano Ardagna Perez in the number 50. Of course, a Ferrari. David Mengsdorf in that orange and black Lamborghini behind. Those are the top three, and now they're going to change orders because Mengsdorf is on the grass on the inside trying to get past. Ardagna Perez left him hardly any room on the inside line, and now Mengsdorf is going to try and send it around the outside at 15. Great work from David Mengsdorf. He's been massively impressive so far this season in FIA GT3, and there's another example of it. Look at this. Send it up the inside, and I think that's him on the grass bouncing along. Back end gets out of shape for both cars, and then he just sticks it around the outside into 15. Look at this. This should easily be Ardagna Perez's corner. But Mengsdorf just drives around the outside. Fantastic stuff. He's now been to second place then. David Mengsdorf is now into the lead of this race, ahead of the Audi of Nii Amorim and Gaetano Ardagna Perez in third place. So he got him into, at the top of the hill, into 14, we believe. So David Mengsdorf in the Lamborghini is now leading the race. Oh, off goes a bit of bodywork from the Audi. There it is, lying fairly safe place on the outside of the circuit. And look at this three-car train as well, going on for fourth place. It's Mark Sword defending from Michael Lyons and Max Nielsen. Michael Lyons is going through past Mark Sword into turn one. Max Nielsen's going to try and follow through into the second corner, and he goes past, so 2 positions lost in the space of a corner. Well, 2 corners to be fair to Mark Sword. So Lyons is now up into 4th position then, with Nielsen into 5th place. So it's all starting to get a bit action-packed here at the Algarve. So this is where the lead of the race changed, and he's forced his way up the inside there, going into, well, that's a forceful move from David Mengsdorf. Nii Amorim wasn't going to let him through, and Mengsdorf bullied his way past. Perfectly fair by the looks of things at this point. 1 lap ago, but now David Mengsdorf looks set really to take his first win in FIA GT1, unless Nii Amorim and Ardagna Perez can find some pace from somewhere. Max Nielsen still unable to find his way past Michael Lyons though in the battle over 4th place. Ardagna Perez is still, oh, is that a little look up the inside into 12? No, it's not, but Ardagna Perez up in front is now lapping at the same pace as Nii Amorim in 2nd place, but they're 1.5 seconds apart, so I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to get past. There you see the Audi, then the Ferrari, and then this close battle between the Ferrari and the Mercedes, Lyons and Nielsen. 8 minutes to go, and I think Max Nielsen may have left this too late. Even if he can get past Michael Lyons, he's not going to be able to close in quickly enough on the 2 drivers in front of him. As they come out of the final corner, and there's something gone wrong with that car. He's spun across the circuit. I wonder if there's a puncture there. It's a rear left puncture, I would predict, because you saw the car all of a sudden bottoming out. That's not a great place to be parked either. He gets the car started around again. His teammate has to take avoiding action. The Russian Bear Motorsport car avoiding as well, so any chance that Max Nielsen had of getting a podium finish is gone. Is it going to be a left rear puncture? Yes, it is. So a heads in the hands time for Mika Vähämäki, but a left rear puncture coming out of the final corner. You suddenly saw the sparks come. Let's see where it goes. He's all right there. And then, well, you can see it's almost on the rim, and then it goes. Sparks coming up as it bottoms out. and then the tyre just completely lets go. Bit of opposite lock going on there. And round he goes. A dramatic moment, not the place you want to have a puncture, really. And then sitting backwards on the track isn't a great place to be either, but a big moment there for Max Nielsen. The left rear will need to be changed. It's absolutely shredded, look at that. And they will, and it's got some of the rubber stuck in the bodywork as well. So they'll get him sent back out, and he'll still be able to pick up 1 point probably, but that has promoted Buch and Baumann to 6th place at least. That's one positive for Gravity Charouz. Out he goes. Now, what have we got going on here? This is Mark Sword now coming under pressure from Maximilian Buch for 5th position. So Buch has managed to set in some decent laps. He's the quickest man on the circuit now, and he's about to get past Mark Sword into turn 15. Surely this will be job done. Sword spots him there. He's going to try and hang it on around the outside, and he doesn't quite manage to hold it, but good driving from the 66-year-old Frenchman, Mark Sword, to hang on to that, and across the line they come. That means Buch is now up into 5th place, so this is their championship is looking healthier by the moment, or the damage limitation anyway is getting better by the moment, because they're now only in 5th position. Project hoping Mengsdorf can come across the line. Harry Proschek, the Austrian driver, David Mengsdorf, the German driver. Here we've got Mark Sword losing out to Miguel Toril in the battle over 6th place. So Toril is up into 6th position now. He's gradually closed in Mark Sword over the previous few laps, and now the car that once was leading the race in the hands of Gregory Gilbert, or sorry, battling for the lead of the race in the hands of Gregory Gilbert, has now dropped down into 7th position. Into turn 15 comes David Mengsdorf. The young German driver has been very impressive so far this season in FIA GT3, and he's going to become even more impressive in a few seconds' time, because the checker flag is out. David Mengsdorf and Harry Proschek win the 8th race of the 2012 GT3 European Championship. Proschek is delighted hanging out of the pit wall. The team are delighted as well. Nii Amorim and Cesar Campanico see the Portuguese flag flying as they cross the line. Great news as well for Team Nova drivers. A real feel-good podium, isn't it? With Gaetano Agdana Perez and Giuseppe Ciro in 3rd place. Congratulations all around with Rhino's Live Motorsports. Maximilian Buch recovered into 5th position. And there he is across the line in 6th place, Miguel Toril. 7th, Mark Sword. Václav Maliv is going to be in 8th place. Mengsdorf's girlfriend is not praying any longer. She's congratulating all the team and the mechanics. He and Proschek embrace Agdana Perez and Ciro, you can see on the left-hand side, absolutely delighted. Mr. Mengsdorf. Nii Amorim with a very, very solid job from both of them as well. Campanico really snuck up on everyone in the pit stops, didn't he? He wasn't really in contention, but he absolutely nailed his in-lap. The team did a great job in the pit stop, and they got him out in the lead of the race. Let's hear then from David Mengsdorf. The winner of the race is down in the pits with Haley Coxon.
Congratulations, David. What a win that was for you.
Thank you very much. The race was incredible. We start from P4 and win the race. Amazing feeling, and we are very, very happy.
How difficult was it for you to bring it home?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult because the tires of the end was a little bit too hard to drive, but we make it, and Harvey did an amazing job, so we are very happy.
Thank you.
So congratulations to our race winners. Across comes Maximilian Buch to congratulate, and he says, look, we just couldn't get the engine started. Here's a look at the results. Lamborghini Gallardo winning, David Mengsdorf and Harry Proschek 5.2 seconds clear of Nii Amorim and Cesar Campanico in 2nd place. Then the two AF Corsa Ferraris, 3rd and 4th, again bringing home the points for AF Corsa. Maximilian Buch and Dominic Baumann recovered well to only finish in 5th position after their pit stop problems put them down to the back of the field. Miguel Toril and Sergei Ryabov in 6th place. Mark Sword and Gregory Gilbert in 7th. Václav Maliv and Kirill Ladygin in 8th position. 9th place for Eduard Leganov and Ricardo Prushin, Max Nielsen and Mika Vahamaki in 10th place after that spectacular puncture sent them spinning. Natalia Fredina and Albert von Turnentaxis round out our finishers. So, what does that do with regards to the championship points? Let me tell you, Dominic Baumann and Maximilian Buch still lead, only 19 points ahead of Ardagna Perez and Chiro now, but David Mengsdorf and Harry Procek are now well in contention for the race win. Only 2 points separating Perez and Chiro, Mengsdorf and Procek, and Lyons and Guy. As far as the team's championship is concerned, as I say, that healthy chunk of points for AF Corsa means they're once again back in the lead of the championship. They lost it briefly yesterday to Heiko Gravity Charouz, but now they're back in front. Rhinos Liepert Motorsport up into 4th place ahead of Science-a-Lot Racing now. The operations manager here at the Autodromo International do Algarve, João Catita, hands the trophies to our 3rd place men. Another podium, as I say, for them this season. 2nd place, Nii Amorim and Cesar Campanico. And race winners for the first time this season, David Mengsdorf and Harry Procek. And Rhinos Liepert Motorsports, after a very entertaining season, that certainly can be said about them. Their distinctive orange and black Lamborghinis always appear to be involved in a battle somewhere. There's the champagne. On the top step of the podium is the German team, but it's all about the Portuguese drivers and team in 2nd place here at the Algarve. It's been a very entertaining couple of races this weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye.